So now that you're plant-based, where are you going to get your protein from? Where are you going to get your protein from? Is that a common question that you've been getting since you maybe made a transition after seeing the What the Health video or Forks Over Knives or whatever reason that you may be plant-based? Hopefully today I get to help you with your venture in being plant-based and introduce you to some proteins that I like to use in my diet. You don't need to have meat in order to have a good amount of protein. How do you find out what is in what type of food? So I don't think that you need to go all crazy now that you're going to go plant-based. It really is pretty basic. But if you did want to count either calories, protein, fiber, iron, you can use one of two things. One, the nutrition label, or two, you can use an app because fruit and vegetables often do not have a label with the nutrition facts on them. You can use an application such as MyFitnessPal. They also have Calorie Counter or CalorieCount.com. There are several different online tools. This is not an ad, it's just I actually use MyFitnessPal pretty regularly to count different nutrients. A multivitamin can fill a lot of the voids that you may have in your diet that you may not realize. Alright, so now let's get to the meat of the subject. No pun intended. There are a couple of different things that you have to look at when you're thinking about proteins. You have to look at the quality of the protein as well as the quantity of the protein. Now, most people typically talk about the quantity of the protein, meaning how many grams of protein is in XYZ. And we'll get to that. But first I wanted to talk about the quality of the protein. What does it mean when somebody says a complete protein? What that means is that that protein contains all the amino acids that are essential. Amino acids are the building blocks of protein. So literally imagine Lego pieces that come together and they create a protein. There are 9 or 10, depending on your medical background, amino acids that are essential. Essential means that you must get them because your body cannot construct them on their own. So it's dependent on external sources for you to get these amino acids. Pyruvate, valine, threonine, tryptophan, isoleucine, methionine, histidine, arginine, leucine, and lysine. Arginine is sometimes essential, sometimes not. So you don't need to write them down, just remember this. Grains are low in 3 of these amino acids most of the time. In order to make up for the lack of those amino acids in grains, you have to pair them with other food. Those amino acids that are lacking in grains, such as rice, can be found in nuts, legumes, beans, peas, things like that. When an organization is trying to help a family or people in need, they would often serve them beans and rice because that is a complete protein meal. You cannot do well with just rice. So the positive thing about proteins that are found in meat is that they are typically complete proteins. So you are able to get all your essential amino acids through one protein source. Some complete proteins that you may know of in a plant-based diet include quinoa and wheatgrass. It's not necessary for one food item to contain all your amino acids. That is the case for the most part for people who have a plant-based diet. You have to rely on a combination of food to get you a complete protein most of the time. So that brings us to our second point. How much protein do you need? Protein dietary need for a person can range somewhere from 30 grams all the way to 100 grams of protein a day. And that depends on that particular person's medical history, their dietary needs. Let's take a look at some of the foods that can contribute to a good amount of protein to your daily diet. When I'm talking about these different items, kind of add them up in your head and you'll see that together you can get the 40, 50, 60 grams of fiber grams of protein pretty easily. It's your daily intake that's important, not just from one item. Kansas City strip steak is 23 grams of protein. Chicken drumstick is 22 grams of protein. 2% milk has about 8 grams of protein. And I have to show you guys this new product, at least it's new for me. I have to thank the African king and queen, Dennis and Lillian, for introducing me to this awesome milk. This right here, it's called Ripple. It is a pea milk. Yes, you heard me, a pea milk. That sounds really funny. However, it has 8 grams of protein, 0 sugars, 4.5 grams of fat, and only 70 calories. This one's the unsweetened original Ripple. I was able to find it at Target, Hy-Vee. Awesome. And it's definitely gonna replace my almond milk, which only has about 1.5 grams of protein. Almond butter has 6 grams of protein. One serving of chickpeas can give you 5 grams of protein. A black bean stew can give you 7 grams of protein. 1 cup of lentils cooked can give you a whopping 17.9 grams of protein. Okay, so I kind of have a cheap product here. This product is mostly plant-based. It has a little bit of egg in it. I think it was like 10 bucks. And you get a whole bunch of these black bean burgers. They've got a chipotle flavor. If you're a person that's often rushing or on the go like me, you can either pop them in a toaster oven or a microwave or the oven. That's what they look like. Super easy to warm up. And we've got seeds. So the great thing about seeds is that you can spread them out throughout your day. You can top off your food. And these are your hemp seeds. Can you get that? These are your flax seeds. These are your chia seeds. Like, very tiny. So these seeds are great in smoothies. You can sprinkle them on salads. You can on top of my curry. Yes, I put them on top of my curry because of the dense roti and needing some more fiber with that. These are great sources of fiber, great sources of omega-3s. So when you see the fat on the label, it's likely because of the omega-3 content of these. They barely have a taste, except that the hemp seeds have a nutty taste. Even though they're not a nut, they're seeds. They add a nutty taste to your smoothie. Powders, all right? So let me get a good view of these here for you guys. Pretty basic ingredients. 20 grams of protein like you see on there, 1 gram of fat. Although they have all these different pea protein, pumpkin protein, spirulina, chlorella, chia seeds, quinoa powder, it still only has 5 grams of carbs in there. What I really like about this Vega Sport protein, probably a lot of marketing as to why they call it sport, but it has just a little bit more of protein. It's got the list of the essential amino acids on there. All but one of them is actually at the or above the recommended daily intake. So you get all of your essential amino acids except for one from this one protein powder. Not very hard to get very close to your adequate protein intake, just starting with a smoothie in the morning. There is hope out there. We only covered a breakfast smoothie and dinner. We didn't include any snacks in there. It is very possible to have your adequate protein intake from a plant-based diet. So there you have it, plant-based protein quality and plant-based protein quantity. Well, I hope you guys learned something from this video. I surely am enjoying my plant-based living. Give me a thumbs up, hit that like button if you enjoyed, if you learned something new. Go ahead and subscribe if you want to hear more. Leave your comments, questions, suggestions below, and I'll see you next time. Signing out, medically yours, Dr. C.